Hej kaikki Richard Metal fan alla. I'm bringing you guys a brand new 2021 album review, or EP review, I should say, because honestly, I've never really done any EP reviews, or I very rarely do it. I just talk about like just full length albums. But this is a pretty much a special EP, and it's gonna be kind of a hard one to talk about, and I think it's a great one. It's not to say that it's bad, but this is just beyond great. But yeah, and as you can see below the title, today we're going to be talking about the debut EP, or I think this will be the only release from the band Bodom After Midnight, their debut EP entitled Paint the Sky with Blood, which was released today through Napalm Records. Now, for those of you who don't know who this band is, I'm really surprised. You probably have been living under a rock. This is basically the second incarnation of the band, Children of Bodom, because near the end of 2019, Children of Bodom had announced that, well, I think three of the members, Henka Kasapala, Yane Warman, and Jaska Ratatanen, probably butchered his name, had announced that they were parting ways or something, because I heard it was because of legal reasons with the Children of Bodom name, and Alexi didn't have the rights to it, and then they played their final shows in Finland. And I was surprised, like, this is pretty much the end of Children of Bodom. But nope, at the beginning of 2020, which was last year, they hit Alexi Laiho and other guitarist Daniel Freiberg formed a new Children of Bodom called Bodom After Midnight, which is named after the song from Follow the Reaper. And then with this album, this band, they've recruited some new members. They had Watteri Valerian, who's the drummer for Paradise Lost, and they got another bassist, Mitja Toivian, who also played in Santa Cruz. And then I think with live, they have a keyboard player, Lori Selma, who's just, I think, is a session member. And it was around the time, well, it wasn't, they were supposed to play some shows in the summer of 2020, but they were all canceled because we're currently in the COVID-19 pandemic that we're in right now. And then it wasn't until after things settled that they basically made their live debut shows in October of 2020, which sadly would be the last time we would see them play live, because it wasn't until near the late December of 2020, but it wasn't announced until, of course, back in January, that Alexi Laiho had died from health complications, and he was only 41 years old. And it was, when I first heard that news, I was kind of shocked. I was not expecting it. And I just thought that they were done. But then, of course, it was announced that they've had recorded actually 3 songs and actually had shot a music video, and it was announced until February that we got this new EP. And then the way to describe this EP is just amazing. Wow, it definitely has Children of Bodom. There's no denying that it had Alexi's playing, and just it's a really sad thing that this is actually the last music we will hear from Alexi Laiho. 3 songs going across 14 minutes, and just one thing to note: just the production is great, and Alexi Laiho, I think he really gave it all on not knowing that this would be his last recordings ever. His lead soloing is great, and it's just the keyboard, his singing is just top notch. I feel like he gave it his all. Same thing with the guitar work, like Alexi's leads, and then Daniel coming up, backing him up with the riffing is just amazing. The bass is pretty audible. Mitch's bass is heard well, and the drumming from Watteri is great. And then just the keyboards just really just add a lot to the music. And then, well, I pretty much rambled on for pretty much 4.5 minutes, so let's dive into the EP track by track. So, starting things off is the title track, Paint the Sky with Blood. Now, this song has a vibe that matches some of their earlier hits and just feels like a very real reminder that the songwriting that has followed Alexi Laiho for his whole career. It's a very well-paced song, from like the dissonant guitar opening to the more melodically kind of like rooted chorus. It's an pretty much will get you stuck in your head when you first hear this. And the solo just fits the music well into the track, and it just kind of reminds you of something from like older songs like Hate Me or shit like that. And the guitars just stand out, and just the barreling drumming just really just sets the tone for this song. And just the rhythmic presence give both guitarists Alexi and Daniel, just the best way to shine, and it just feels much like this group has been playing together for several years, and it just pretty much has that very kind of synergetic and very nostalgic feel to it. And I think it's a great song, and just the music video for that song is great. It just, I mean, I'm seeing like Alexi Laiho playing it, and he just looks like he was just healthy and alive and just better than ever. Little to know, a couple months later we would sadly lose him. Overall, Paint the Sky with Blood, it's a great song, great way to kick off the EP. Then we get to the second song on here, which is called Payback's a Bitch. Now, Payback's a Bitch, it gets a very less melodic song that doubles down on sort of like a deeper kind of thrashy kind of groover tone. The melody is still there, but the chuggy nature of the riffs and the verses gives this track a much heavier quality overall. It has that barreling rhythm section, and the keys on this track really shine through much more than on Paint the Sky with Blood, the song. And it's opting for more of the signature guitar keyboard duel and sort of like the solo instrumental section of this track, and it does it really well with sort of like a higher pitched tone that leads into thinking it's going to be like a higher pitched duel before sort of like a lower tone guitar solo just sweeps in and just shreds. And the transition between the two is just pure magic, and it really shows that how Bodom of After Midnight weren't afraid to experiment with these sort of techniques. And this was actually the last original song that we heard from Alexi. And then to close out the EP, we have a cover song, which the song is called Where Dead Angels Lie, and it was originally done by Swedish black metalers Dissection. And it's a pretty interesting way that they chose to end the EP with a cover. And while this cover, it remains very true to the original song, it's a lot more melodic. It definitely makes it more kind of like a Bodom experience. It's done in a way that maintains sort of like the dark kind of nature to the track, but removes sort of like the grittier elements to really just help modernize it. Now overall, Paint the Sky with Blood by Bodom After Midnight, it's a very great EP. I was really surprised, and it's really hard to believe that this is the last material ever of Alexi Laiho. 14 minutes, lasting three songs. And honestly, I don't even know if they're going to continue, and I just don't think they should, because Alexi Laiho is Bodom, Children of Bodom, and Bodom After Midnight. I just think that it's just they wouldn't continue. It would be ridiculous, because his music is just great. He's just an influence in general. Well, it's hard to believe that he's gone now after it's been only a few months since he passed, but this is really an emotional record. I'm even getting choked up just talking about it. But his music will forever live on throughout any metalhead, including myself. So if I were to give this EP a review or a score, I'm going to give Paint the Sky with Blood by Bodom After Midnight a solid 10 out of 10. Pretty much could be one of my anticipated releases of 2021. It could be. It's definitely up there. I think it's fucking amazing. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this review, and also rest in peace Alexi Laiho. Thank you for the great music and for just being a great inspiration for all metalheads alike. And I'll see you all in the next video, and as always, keep it metal. Kitos.